Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Unstoppable Pursuit podcast, where we're pushing the limits in business, life, and health. And today, we're talking about mindset. I'm Brian Benson, and next to me is literally Mike's best man from his wedding. But that's what you're supposed to do when you're the best man, right? Step in when he needs you.
Taking care of business.
Taking care of business. This is George Oberdorster.
What's going on?
He is the man. He is the definition of hustle, and he loves the grind more than anybody I know. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, brother.
Thank you so much. I tell you, it's definitely an honor here. I've been a fan of the show, and I've supported the show, and this is a blessing in disguise to be able to substitute for Michael for his limited absence.
Thank you, brother. Well, check out, what's your, you do a ton of Periscope. Right?
Yeah, so basically social media, my brand and my team's brand is Red Hot Naples, and we're on everything, Snapchat, Periscope, all the good stuff.
Yeah, definitely
Facebook.
Check it out. He does his Periscopes. What do you do, daily Periscopes? Or
I try and do Periscopes 2 to 3 times a day. This week has been a huge week, opportunities for me, so I've actually dialed it down this week, but I'm going to ramp it up probably starting today, actually.
Awesome. Well, yeah. George does tons of great stuff on personal development and business development, tons of motivation, inspiration, so make sure you check that out. It'll definitely be helpful. So, all right, let's dive right into the Dominate Your Day reading. And I'm not a good out loud reader, so I'm doing this for you, Mike. This is all for you, brother. All right, you have to believe in yourself. Most of us have all the tools we need to be successful, except for the internal belief that something great is going to happen. Believe in yourself every day. Remember, what you put out into the universe, you will attract back in abundance. Great stuff. Check out Dominate Your Day on michaelstahl.com. It's an awesome book. And you gotta say anything about the book?
Oh, the book is tremendous. I tell you, I actually purchased and I supported Michael, and I got a whole bunch of copies, and I've been giving them out to friends and family and everybody I think definitely needs it. That little push. I mean, this book is just full of goodness, and this book has actually inspired me to write my own book. Hopefully, it'll be out Q4 of 2017. The content is about 85-90% there. Now it's all about bringing it all together and making a copy for consumers and a copy potentially for other agents to help and use as a guideline for growing their business.
Love it, brother. Well, let's dive right into this. Like, why is mindset so important? Why do we need to focus in on it? Why do we need to practice it? Be practitioners of having a better mindset.
For me, I mean, especially in business and personal life, you got to find that delicate balance. And for me, on a professional standpoint, especially in the business I'm in, I don't know if you know the statistics, but 70% of real estate agents fail their first year, 87% fail within their first 3 years. We're in an industry that is broken and designed to make people fail. So every single day, I take actions with myself and my mindset in order to survive, but also thrive in any kind of economy and everything else. And same thing with my personal life. Everything happens for a reason, and everybody goes through very troubled times in their lives, and then you always have to take that step in order to break out of whatever funk that you're in or whatever you're dealing with in life, and just understand that everything happens for a reason and that you must overcome it. You have to find the power within to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why that mindset is so important, because hey, look, life is an adverse situation. You're going to go through ups and downs, but it's keeping this, directed to where you need to go and keeping you in that positive attitude and keeping that mental stability about yourself that's so important. So there's a whole slew of things of why it's so important. There's different types of mindset. There's the self-awareness aspect of it. There's the personal, the growth mindset where you're always improving and moving forward, and just having that good, head on your shoulders about everything, right?
Yeah. You got to be clear and concise, and always just try your best to overcome whatever obstacles that come in your way.
Yeah, and I mean, having a good mindset is when there is an obstacle, it's finding the solution within that obstacle or in that problem, and just always being solution-oriented and things of that nature. But what George has put together is some just incredible stuff on mindset. So we're going to talk about how to build your mindset. And George put together some acronyms for success that I'm really excited to talk about. And we can start running through your list. Okay. And then we can talk about anything else that we want to that we can help people move forward in their mindset and
Perfect.
help get them
All
more
right.
successful.
Like my mentor says, let's do this. So basically, I created a list of acronyms, part of a mentorship program within our brokerage, MVP Realty, right here in Southwest Florida. And I taught agents 20 different acronyms, and we're just going to go over a few of them and touch upon them today. But they really will change your life, because if you believe in affirmations and these small acronyms for success, and you say them every single day and you rehearse them, it becomes second nature to you. And it actually gives me goosebumps, which is crazy, because no matter what situation, if I wake up the next day, if a deal fell apart and I don't feel right, or if I'm sick, I go through this and it gets me through the day from A to B, or A to Z, actually.
Yeah.
But the first one I'd like to go over is basically always seek knowledge. And this is tremendous for me. And when I say always seek knowledge, no matter what you're doing in your professional careers, I always tell everybody, do whatever it takes. Go head first and learn your craft. I've actually spent more money on my real estate technology education in 24 months than I spent in 5 years graduating from Florida Gulf Coast University.
Wow.
It's crazy. So I always try and make myself knowledgeable and just really go out there so I can be proactive and reactive in every single situation that comes up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think being in that constant state of learning and like you said, like, be the master of your craft. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, invest in yourself. That's why I invested in myself with the John Maxwell program for leadership and
I'm
for
excited.
speaking and things. Yeah, I mean, it's so important, right? That learning everything, and there's always more to learn. There's always more to read. There's always stuff that you can, you always have to get your brain by telling yourself, oh, I'm learning. Oh, this is what I need to know, and your brain starts picking up these things. It's super powerful.
Being coachable is the number one, and being open-minded, because so many people
100%.
will say, I want to learn, but they're not willing to do the blood, the sweat, the tears in order to get to that next level.
Yeah, no, I mean, being coachable is just, it's everything, really. I mean, every successful person that I've had the privilege of interviewing has always had some type of coach, some type of mentor or accountability partner that's helping them move forward. So
Yeah.
I agree.
So the first one was ask, ASK, for always seek knowledge. The second one is PP, and get your mind out of the gutters. But but PP stands for passion and patience. Without patience, you can never showcase your passion to people.
I agree, and there's such a lack of patience these days, right? I mean, it's like you said, there's not a lot of real estate agents that make it past that first year. Well, probably a lack of patience, I mean, I think that they may have some kind of passion for it, but they so go hand in hand, because if you're super passionate, you're going to be willing to take the time that it takes. I mean, any business, it's 3 to 5 years, 2 to 5 years. I mean, I'm talking, you have got to be really, really patient with your passion and your dream if you want it to come true.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be prepared to get down and dirty and whatever it takes at all costs. I mean, still to this day, I'm going into, I'm in year 3, and I always joke around and say, I want to be a part of Club 13, the 13%, the successful real estate agents that thrive past year 3. And I tell everybody, I'm like, they don't understand. They look at me and they're like, you're so successful. Well, everybody has different terms or views on success, but for me, I'm still trying to build my brand, my team, grow within my community, and do some amazing stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm very blessed on my past and what I've done to get here, but I still work my face off. You and I both know we work 60, 70 hours a week. I mean, there's some times that I'm having dinner by myself at my office. Not often, because family first, always, but I tell you, sometimes my fiance knows that for us to live the life of opportunities, you have to pay. Right now, my whole mantra is, I'd rather trade my time for money now so I can invest my money into time later.
Right.
And that's my biggest thing.
Yeah, one of my mentors, John Maxwell, always says, you're going to pay in life, no matter what, right? So you could pay at the front end of life, or you could pay on the back end, So figure out that pay, play kind of thing, and I'm with you. I'd rather pay now and play later.
Yeah.
100%. but I understand if people feel differently about that. But I'm just saying, like, I'd rather build it now, build the empire now, and understand it's going to take time. But hopefully, by the time I'm in my 40s or something, I'm in a good place where I'm living the lifestyle I want, providing for my family the way I need to, and want to, you know? So
Yeah.
I think that's awesome stuff.
That whole stigmata of retiring in your 60s, that is not even a glimmer in my future. Like I always say, 40s, worst comes to worst, 50th birthday is my goal.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. I'm
Yeah.
with you. That's like I always say. I'm like, I want to be done by like 50.
Yeah,
I wanna be,
exactly.
like in a good. I don't think we'll ever be done though. We're too much of like, we really always will have some side hustle going on. Right?
If I'm not busy, I'm not happy, and that's the biggest thing. A lot of people go, George, you live for this, you know, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, it's true. I mean, when you do something that you love, it's not a job. It's actually a hobby, and it's a blessing in disguise. And I just love taking it to the level, you know, the highest level that I can.
Yeah, I mean, that's why George even came up here on a Saturday morning to invest his time in this. I mean, we're both we love putting out content to people. We love adding value to people. We love serving people. We love helping people. But that's exactly right. Like, we're willing to just go and do whatever on Saturdays or Sundays. I mean, we want to put in the time because we love it.
If you would have said, George, we're filming at 1 a.m., I would have still been here no matter what, because
I love it.
You know, I never want to take any opportunities for granted. I jump to every single opportunity because opportunities help you grow as a person and your business twofold.
100%, brother. So what's the next one?
All right, next one on the list, POV, is point of view. Everything you do in your personal and your professional life, you got to almost have like an out-of-body experience and really step out into the fold and say, when I do this, how will other people perceive what I'm doing? Am I doing stuff that I should be doing in this marketing, if in this business plan, or in this type of setting? You always want to take yourself and transplant yourself and try and be as unbiased as possible, but you really want to say, am I doing something that's unbelievable that people are going to appreciate, like this podcast?
Thank you. Yeah, it's so true, that self-awareness of how you're going to be perceived, what your audience is doing, and how you're adding value to them, where they're coming from. Because the way I look at this is like, that point of view is like, look, I see myself as a vehicle for information, you know, and that's, so my whole goal is to just satisfy the audience, add so much value to them, but hopefully, knowing that what I'm doing is valuable to them. So that self-awareness is so important. That point of view is so important.
You know, it's so funny you said vehicle. Little things, when I talk to Brian all the time, Brian and I tell you, I mean, we're so much like the same individual. Our thought process, the way we perceive things and everything else. But when you said vehicle, it triggered something that I tell all my agents. All my agents, I always joke around and say, I'm going to build a Ferrari, don't wreck the car. But I tell every agent, you know what, Ferraris are great, they're flashy and everything else, and they're fast and they're sexy and everything else. But in the long term, I really want to be, I'm sure you've seen that movie Unstoppable with Bruce Willis. It came out, or not Bruce Willis, Denzel Washington.
Oh, right.
Yeah, in 2010. And one of my favorite movies. I actually watched it 2 nights ago on that device I told you about. And I have to say, I want to be that train, that 777. I want to be unstoppable. And that's what I strive for every day. I tell every person, Ferrari, you're fast off the start, but guess what? You're probably going to run out of gas, you know, later on in the laps. You want to be that train that nobody can stop. It'll be slow starting off, but when you get up to speed, forget about it.
Right, and that goes back to the patience thing. It's like, you think about
slow
that
and steady
until you hit that momentum in that stride. So I think that's so important, dude. I love that. I love that point of view. That self-awareness of where you want to be. You know, like, get there. You will get there. You know, but it just be willing to understand who you are and understand that it's going to take a little time, but it'll be awesome when you're there. My
next one is one of my favorite ones. I actually went to a Tony Robbins seminar, and or Anthony Robbins, and it's LODI, L-O-D-I. It stands for Law of Diminishing Intent. And the best way to describe it on a micro source is, imagine having, or when you were a child, or if you have a child, and you buy that child a toy, or God forbid, you give them a cardboard box, and they're infatuated with boxes when they're young and developing, but you take it away, and then all of a sudden that baby, that, it doesn't recognize or doesn't think that since they can't see it anymore and they can't play with it, that diminished intent takes over time. Same thing in my business is, if somebody is searching online for real estate, they actually say that if you reach out to that person within 5 minutes of that lead coming in, and I have 2 iPhones, my iPad with me all the time, and just say, hi, how can I help you? Or if you have any questions, your engagement is 87%. And believe it or not, if it goes down and you don't engage that person in their first hour, law of diminishing intent, it could be that soccer mom driving the children to soccer practice, or somebody driving to work. All of a sudden, their intent to do whatever they were trying to do is gone. And I tell everybody, same thing for myself. When I have work to do, unless I have my work in front of me, like my files in front of me and everything else, my intent to do it diminishes over time, because I'm like, okay, out of sight, out of mind.
Right, right. No, I think that's so true. And I think just talking about how, I love that you take such value, or it put so much value on that person's head that maybe comes in as a lead, that you're willing to like immediately serve them and talk to them, because like out of sight, out of mind. And everybody knows in sales, it's like, okay, with a million insurance agents and real estate agents out there, it's like, okay, like if half the time, I would say 80% of the time is just being in front of people is why you're going to get the sale, or why you're going to make the business, right?
It's all about building that rapport, engagement, showing them that you really care, because honestly, it's about going above and beyond for everybody.
100%, bro. Like that's such a great point. Is like the first thing anybody's gonna ask when they meet you, or when you approach them on anything in business, is they're gonna ask, does this person care about me?
Yeah,
it's just true. You know, I mean, think about when you meet somebody. It's like, okay, can I trust this person? Does this person care about me? Are they putting value on me? These are the things that go through human emotion. You know, and once you show you care, first thing right out of the gate, that's important.
Another one that I like is, or I really believe in, is LTV, and that stands for life and time and value. And believe it or not, and I was telling you this a little bit earlier, this is probably one of the only acronyms for success that tend to be a little bit negative, because as entrepreneurs, as people striving for greatness, we're always willing to try and help people. But once in a while, for you to experience growth, you must say no at times. So LTV goes into the lifetime value is, if somebody presents an opportunity, or if somebody asks you for a favor once in a blue moon, not saying to do it every single day, because you always want to strive to help everyone around you, but you must say, is this going to improve my life? Is this going to save me time? Is this going to add value to what I'm trying to accomplish? And if it hits all categories as a no, sometimes you must step back and say, I'm sorry, I cannot do it at this time.
When you say yes to everybody, you're actually saying no to so many other opportunities. And I agree with you. When a lot of my clients, what I do is I make them write down like a 5 set of questions. So like, does this align with my family values? Does this align with my money values? And they have to, and if all those questions are yes, then it's a go, do it, because it's going to align with who you are and what you wanted to accomplish in your life. But if it doesn't, if 3 out of those 5 questions don't work, then it's a no, and don't feel bad about that, because if you say yes, you may be saying no to a future great opportunity, and you just have to think of it that way. It's tough, but you have to say no sometimes to stay focused, you know?
I've had an instance, actually a couple times this year, and as a real estate professional, like, I love giving back. I love helping people. I love being one with my community around me. And a lot of people don't know, but I went to Florida Gulf Coast University, graduated in 2005 with a degree in elementary education. I have a bachelor's in science. I hate saying BS degree because everybody thinks it's a negative that I'm ripping on college, but that's a completely different episode potentially. But in hindsight, I have had times this year where I think it's a blessing and a curse sometimes that I can help people better than I can help myself. And I've had a couple months where in real estate I haven't closed one deal. And that is like catastrophic. When you put your business on hold, or slow it down, or hit the brakes, or whatever you want to call it, you really limit your growth and your momentum, and it's hard to pick up momentum. But I've also had the how can I say, blessings and benefits of mentoring about 20 agents right here in Southwest Florida locally, and also about 25 agents in 18 different states remotely, and helping them grow their business. And I tell you, being able to do that, the pain of not closing deals or not being able to gain the momentum lessens dramatically. So it's all about a give or a take, but at the end of the day, I really think that everybody, I call it filling up your karma meter. It's all about filling up that karma, because then all of a sudden when I do slow down my growth in mentoring, oh my God, I break records. Like June, sold 5 houses. July, I sold 2 houses. And now in my pipeline, I have like 5 new listings coming on the market in the next 2 weeks. Like things are exploding. I think because I internalized what I was doing and was helping people. And it gave me clarity on what the direction and laser light focus, which is very important, because so many people, I have dyslexia, I have ADHD, I'm very hyper, as you guys may or may not see on the camera, but I mean, it does help sometimes when I drink my Bang energy drinks, but I'm always like, gotta go, squirrel, what? And I just stop everything.
I know, I feel you, bro. I think that having that balance of, helping other people achieve success will ultimately help you personally achieve success.
I feel like as a professional and a person this year, which now, I'm 36, I'll be turning 37 next April, and I think I've had more growth in the last 12 months in both sectors than I've had in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Which is tremendous, because it's such a fulfillment that I know it's going to lead to greater things in my future for my family, for myself, for my friends, my network, everybody around us.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Well, you want to go through one more?
Yeah. We got one more, and basically it's FTSS, and facts tell, stories sell. When I first started off in real estate, it was very hard because I didn't have the stories to explain on accomplishments and everything. And actually, I told you, Michael, who I'm standing in for today, he was actually one of the first people, and his transaction and me selling his home, that really lit the fire from me going from an average agent to an elite agent almost overnight. And I don't know if a lot of people know the whole backstory on it, but Michael, I called him like a month or 2 before, and I said, Michael, the market's hot, and and of course, he's a good friend of mine. I'm trying not to be salesy to him, but I'm trying to say, if you're thinking about selling and cashing out, now is the time. And he goes, no, I have these things on my pipeline. Well, sure enough, long story short, he calls me and says, George, I want you to list my house. Can you be over here tomorrow? Like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. And I'm like, all right. And I go over his house and I said, listen, your house is worth X. I think I can get you Y. Let's aim for the stars. Because the average real estate agent, I shouldn't say they're looking to a quick and painless sale, but it's all about, taking care of people for me. And I said, listen, we got to take advantage of this market. You don't have a cookie cutter home. You have southern exposure. You have every column filled. The highest houses per square foot was like 177, 185, closed per square foot. I said, let's break some records. Let's do this. And then we actually ended up listing his house. I have a funny story about Michael and his carpet. Remind me after. But we actually ended up listing his house for about $55,000 over what the potential appraised value was on my CMA report. And sure enough, when we put it on the market, it was like a feeding frenzy. I think the day before his launch of his house, we had a broker open house. The open house was 6 days. I think it was like 77 people showed up to his house, and we had so many private showings, and Michael was so meticulous. On his way out, he would actually hand brush his carpet so it didn't have the frizzies on top. Talk about caring about your product and your home and everything else. I mean, I'm like, wow, you are OCD, but you can't see footprints, But within those 10 days, we had eight offers, 2 full price backup offers, and Michael cashed out at the peak of the market. And not only that, but he broke every single record in Victoria Park, and he paved the way. People were trying to sell their homes 3 months after, and they would not use his home sale as an actual viable comp because they called it anomaly. Wow. Anomaly. I can't say a tongue twister, but And that was such a great, and then that's part of the Facts Tell Stories Sell. I can say that in 2014, I broke every single record in there. And then I tell people about my other accomplishments, because you could be a robot. You could say, I know this. Oh, by the way, 700 homes sold in the last 7 days. Anybody can do that. But then when you can say, I've done this, I've done that, it totally sets the picture and it fills in all the missing pieces.
100%, man. I mean, and that's what I love, and that's what this whole podcast is about. It's pushing the limits, and that's what you did, is you said, I'm going to take this on as a project, and I'm going to push the limits, and I'm going to sell this for higher, and we're going to help everybody in the situation. But it's just like, it kind of goes back to the whole Gary Vee thing. It's like one piece of content can change your life, and that is what you did, is you put yourself out there, you put yourself on the line, and that changed your life and put you into a momentum, gave you a huge momentum booster, and allowed you to create a really great story for yourself, allowed you to be able to, put yourself out there more as an authority, as an influencer, as an expert, as somebody who knows how to make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, it how can I say, it impacted Michael and myself in so many different ways.
Right.
And it actually brought us together closer, and we shared that office for a year. And, we helped release his book. He helped me close my business, or increase my business workflow and everything else. And it was just a blessing in disguise. I mean, that opportunity and that story is going to go into the record books for many years. I mean, I still use it till today. And now we're coming up on 3-year anniversary, which is nuts.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get into the challenge of the day, and then we'll close up with the health tip. But this has just been, I feel like this episode was super valuable. Like, I feel freaking awesome about this one. This is just great stuff. This is great stuff for your mindset, man. This is awesome. So the challenge that I want to throw out to everybody, and we talked about this early on, but it's create affirmations.
Yes.
You want to talk about some things that you say, and how to say it really quick, so they understand how to do that?
So every morning, no matter what's going on in your life, personal, professional, you want to trick your brain. And how you do that is through positive affirmations. And one, I say every morning, which I have about 5 in my routine, but I go in front, and I have huge mirror closet doors. And I actually stand in front of it, and I go, be unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. Be unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. And you say it 2-3 times each, and you go through your list. And after a while, you won't need your list that you created. And I had it taped for the longest time. It was funny with the shower that the paper would crumple up with the humidity and everything else. And I tell you, you will get goosebumps. You will be energized, and you'll elevate everything around you.
Yeah,
it's life-changing.
Oh, it is. And I have the same on my mirror, and it's always in present. Like, I am valuable. I am powerful. I am a leader. I am unstoppable, and putting that out there. So create those, and something that I just want to touch on really fast. But this is a total different episode. Maybe people think this way, or maybe they don't. I don't know. I read this book, Super Brain by Deepak Chopra. It's awesome, but what you said was trick your brain. And your mind and your brain are different. Mm-hmm. Your brain is just a computer system. You, as the creator of your life, choose what to tell your brain, how it will react, how it will do things. And that, my friends, is so powerful. And you don't even know the power, but just doing those positive affirmations, your brain, the neurons in your brain will start opening up, and you'll break habits, and like bad habits, and it will start creating what you want. And exactly what Mike's book said is, what you put onto the universe will attract back in abundance. It's just like the mind, your mind can do anything. Like, you can tell your brain, you're the creator of your life. You're the creator of the outcomes that you want. So make sure that you're creating these, positive affirmations, helping yourself move forward.
Yeah.
So the last thing is the health tip. I'm not 100% sure on health. Mike is the expert. He's not here. So what I just want to talk about, my health tip, and this is something I need to learn. And when I went to my doctor last, he's like, okay, getting a little bit bigger on the gut there. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. He's like, you need to get your waistline down. I was like, thanks, buddy. And he said, the best thing for you to do is portion control.
It's so funny you said that because I'm the same way. I'm like, for me, I always joke around and I always tell myself, got to put the fork down, you know.
Yeah.
But not only with that, but so I ballooned up, and Michael's helped me along the way here and there with, you know, it's difficult with my work balance, and sometimes we slack off here and there, but without health, there's never wealth. And in the last probably 10 days, I've only had maybe, you know, carbs twice, and I've really just had for dinner proteins, and that's it. And veggies, of course. You got to have your, you know, I've been having corn, broccoli, the stuff that I like, grilled onions, and then I have fruits for the natural sugars in them because that satisfies my sweet tooth that I go in runs. If I have a sweet tooth, forget about it. You've seen Cookie Monster? This is the Cookie Monster, and Cake Monster, and everything else monster. So, no, but, you know, I have to say, since I've done that, my life has changed, and I've dropped probably, I'm going to say now, 16 pounds in probably the last 35 days.
That's amazing,
just
man.
by being focused on what I'm eating, eat more proteins than carbs. And I mean, I think you saw those tuna steaks I cooked up. I had them twice last week, and just like amazing. I mean, it's just your life, your energy levels, your just everything starts coming into alignment once you start feeding your body the good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And the biggest thing for me on the portion controls, like I would always eat till I was full. You know, that was the other
Food
problem.
coma.
Oh my God, like that was my thing. If I had a whole, like last night, I was so proud of myself. Like there was 2 pieces of pizza sitting there. Like I ate some, and then I was like, I could eat this. Like I could eat this. This isn't a problem for me. But I had to just push it away, and that's something my doctor also told me. Is like, leave a little bit on your plate. Like start training your brain again to be like, push it away. Tony Robbins, he did the same thing. Like, and he celebrated when he did. So it like was getting the neurons in his brain and the neuron pathways to open up and say, new habit. Like I don't need to eat this much. So that was an eye opener for me. But it's willing to just kind of put the fork down, push it away, and then feeding your body the things that you need, the proteins and the vegetables and the good stuff. So that's a health tip. Ladies and gentlemen, first, George, thanks for being here.
Oh,
brother.
thank you so much for the
Awesome to have
opportunity.
you.
I really appreciate it.
We appreciate everybody who comes in live. Love you guys so much. Your support means everything to us, and if we can take care of you in any way, shape, or form, we will. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and we'll see you all on the next episode.
Woo woo!